do this thing and cut, paste, boom, bam. And one last thing, we are going to add in our beautiful picture. Awesome. So that should be coming on. All right, let's get rid of this crazy image. Bam, now we are in game. So if you guys are part of the OGC community chat, let us know right now. Go in there, post a hi. You'll pop up on Facebook, or you'll pop up on the screen. Jeez. Sorry, I am all tongue-tied. I'm super nervous because we're going to look at every single hero. So we'll give it a minute for everyone to come on. And if you guys are not part of the OGC community chat, I'll pop up in a minute and show you guys what my user ID in the game is. So you can send me a friend request and then we can add you into the OGC community chat. It's pretty awesome. So hi Basic. Yes, new chat is going to take us some time to get used to. And Justin says, I feel like the chat is a bit too small right now. I agree. It's very, very hard. It's very hard to see and read. My vision's already horrible. So we'll tell everyone say hi. Yeah, it's definitely too small. I don't like it how when you rotate the screen, the chat doesn't rotate. You actually have to hit the button to make it rotate. That part drives me a little nuts because I'm so used to switching it. So we'll just give this one more minute so we can get a couple more people, and then we will jump in. So we are going to look at every single hero. We're going to go over the skills for those heroes, some basic ideas on what to do for their equipment, and some different ideas for different races. So Revenge says hello. Kifa says nice. Chan is questioning the at all. And JN says hi. So let's jump in. Let's start looking at the heroes. So we have a bunch of heroes to go through. And I think we're going to go left to right. So if you guys do have questions about a specific hero, feel free to wait until we get to that hero to ask the question. There is a little bit of lag, so you can ask it preemptively. Hopefully you guys are all here before we make it to that hero. That way we don't like miss out and say we don't get down to Sprig and then we have questions about Rufio. So first and foremost, we have Rufio. Rufio is a backline killer and or dragon killer. So right now when it comes to PvP, probably the single best thing that you can do is take out the enemy dragon. That is the single best thing you can do at the start of a PvP. The way that you can take out enemies dragons as soon as possible is using the craftable set. It is the set of Valor. You get this through the Void Shop. One item is actually in the Royal Archive, so make sure you get that one item from the Royal Archive. You can craft these items, so since you can craft these, it should be pretty easy to get them as flawless once you're fully maxed out and you're farming honor. The reason why this set is huge for Rufio, especially when you're focusing on killing your dragons, is because it gives plus 200% damage to massive units. That's huge. That 200% will add up. The other thing is I do go with a Tectonic Axe because he is going to get hit quite a bit and you want him to live for as long as possible. The Tectonic Axe will offer some damage mitigation. And hey Ali and hey Drake, nice to see you guys. So damage reduction is huge. Don't mind the trinkets. I was playing around with some stuff in PvP. I was testing out those skull trinkets that do that random damage to people. So all my trinkets are a little off. But offering the nearby enemy healing efficiency net minus 50%, I think this is going to be huge on Rufio if he does jump in the back line. The reason why is it will reduce the healing that the dragons put out if you are trying to kill the dragons. Say you jump in the back line and you're trying to kill the enemy archers. With the new trinket that came out in the Void, I believe it's Void 142, where archers now basically get life leech. The more they attack, the more health they regain. This should cut down on how much they regain there. Otherwise, you do just kind of want to make him a little bit of a glass cannon. So the bloody arrowheads work perfect. You increase that might on Rufio, you increase the crit chance, then he can take down the dragons better. So what's going on, God Emperor? Nice to see you. And for people, if people are just coming on, we're going through every single hero to kind of get us updated to 2019. I do choose to go with the Leo's Pride on Rufio for that little extra splash damage. It offers some versatility, so if you go after the dragon, you can't go wrong with Leo's Pride. And if you decide to go after a pack of archers or something like that, the Leo's Pride procs might help out to kill off those units. So, pretty standard build. You pretty much just want to make him so he does as much damage as possible to large units. Um, Mine's pretty good. Look at those stats. Anyways, when it comes to the abilities, he has a Arena King, uh, which pretty much just means he gets a bunch of buffs every time he does stuff. So the more skills you use with him, the better. And hi, Tiago. Nice to see you. Also, his evade chance increases when you do things with him, so that's just absolutely massive. You need your Rufio to stay alive. When we look at Bladestorm, Bladestorm will allow him to kind of spin back and forth in the enemy backline. This is a unique type of skill in Art of Conquest. Very rarely do you actually have control over movement of your heroes in the game. Most of it comes down to placement and how everything kind of works out. But with Bladestorm, you can reposition Rufio pretty well. It's not perfect, but it works pretty well. So Drake asks, at what level is recommended to have Rufio to make good damage? Great question. Rufio is one of those heroes that you still need to focus on your race-based heroes first. So if you're human, that looks like Elena to 45. You want your Avalon to 50, your Vireian to 50, etc., and then get your rogues up, especially that new hero, the Bazrik. Definitely get them up. But once your race-based heroes are done, then you can work on Rufio and whatever other ones you want to specifically do. So Rufio also has Chopping Blade. So Chopping Blade, whenever he lands from the leap or finishes a skill, he will swing and deal a bunch of extra damage. It's pretty cool. It's also after he does the whirlwind thing. So anytime he repositions, he's going to do a bunch of extra damage. That it's a nice little skill to have. So this one is a massive one for Rufio. Intimidating Shout. It gives him a bunch of extra stamina, but it also starts the battle off with an AoE pushback stun that goes up to 5 seconds. Absolutely massive. Pretty soon, with this skill, if you finish the next Drake or Nor and you get those end of the season rewards and you get that Gladiator set that offers +1 to all skills, you can get Intimidating Shout up to level 10. I have no idea how much time that's going to stun, but it should be pretty cool. Then we have Fearless. So Fearless is this is another absolutely huge one when you want to focus on killing off the enemy's dragon, which I think, as Chip told us, is absolutely insane. It's the best thing to do when you start off on a fight. Pretty much solidify your front line, then take out the enemy dragon. So Fearless looks like Rufio likes to challenge and battle harder against powerful foes. So against large units, it increases his damage, but to massive units, it really increases his damage, which is huge. So this is why he can take down dragons so well. Hopefully he gets a crit off, and then he can take them out. Then we have Bloodbath. Bloodbath is pretty much a form of a life leech, so he can heal up as he does damage. I don't think this is something that you need to go too crazy with, but absolutely have at least 1 point in it, just because why not? Finally, we have Deep Impact. So Deep Impact, Rufio is going to leap into an area, slam on the ground, do a bunch of damage. Hopefully you can take out enemy archers with this. That would be absolutely massive. And also, in that area, that circle is going to slow the attacks and everything down of the enemies. If you do his whirlwind and you go back and forth in and out of that little circle, it's going to stun everything in it. So, because of that, Rufio is one of those rare heroes that his movement you can control, and his movement in the battlefield actually can create a lot of havoc, and it adds a whole nother level of play to the game. So, because of that, Rufio is pretty unique. So Ahmad wants my Instagram ID. I don't have an Instagram. Excuse me. And Ray Jukes. Hey Ray, nice to see you. New hero tears up Garrison's. Garrison's defense are basically useless again. I agree 100%. Um, Sasha says they want skills for PvE for the new hero, so we will get to that. And Drake says at what moment is good in the PvP to go deep and kill the dragon? Pretty much as soon as possible. If you can't kill the dragon with Rufio, that's okay. Kill it with archers or whatever you can kill it with. But sooner rather than later. You want to take down the enemy's dragon as soon as possible. Next, we have Averil. So, Averil has a few different things going on. She does have a wonderful weapon, the Frostborn. You don't need to worry about crafting this. You get the flawless one from the Void for free just from completing stuff. And as far as her sets, she has two real viable sets. The first one is the Drakescale Mantle, which will just keep her alive longer. This comes from killing off the dragons. Once her health gets super low, pretty much she's not going to die for a few seconds. The other one that she does have that is viable is the Clash of Fate set, which offers the stun for 2 seconds, which also stuns heroes every time they get hit by her spells. Either one works. It's kind of down to the preference. Under the trinkets, there are a bunch of different options. Again, this is my PvP setup that I was playing around with. But you do have mantra beads. Mantra beads will always help out. And if you are going for something like walls, then putting the earrings on will help out tremendously. It can make her glacial shards crit. That's going to do a lot more damage when you're hitting empty walls or doing garrison attacks. Also, ancient crystal for the +1 to rapid cast will help out. And you also have +1 to glacial shard with the helm. So this set on her right now is more like a PvE. So if you're using her in the void, or say you're doing garrisons or empty walls, this is the way that you can really increase her damage. For PvP, you might want to gear her more stat specific. It's all personal preference, whichever one gives you the best results. So I don't want to tell you guys like this is the best and only thing to do. Instead, take from it what you want, try it out, see for yourself what you like and what you don't like. When it comes to Averil's abilities, though, this is pretty standard. So first and foremost, any of her active abilities you want to have at least 1 point in. And Tristan, welcome in. The reason for that is because of her rapid cast and we'll get to the rapid cast. So first things first, we have Ice Nova. This costs 1 mana. With 1 mana, it will put out a little circle. It's going to freeze stuff up. It does a little bit of damage, nothing too wild. Next, we have Glacial Shard. So Glacial Shard, this is where Averil gets all of her damage from. Her auto attacks have a chance of releasing Glacial Shards. It's going to shoot out a bunch of them. And in fact, if we go through all this, let's do it this way. So they're going to do a bunch of cold magic damage. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. So Glacial Shard definitely max out. That's where Averil's true power comes from. In PvP though, you can get away with Blizzard if you're going after archers. So keep that in mind. PvP Blizzard is actually pretty good for taking out archers. For garrisons and doing wall damage, Glacial Shard is everything. Next, we have Ice Wall. Ice Wall is another one. This is probably a 1 point wonder for most situations. Some people get creative with this, but it also costs 1 mana. You just drag your finger across the screen, you create a wall. It's made out of ice. Then we have Blizzard. So Blizzard is a big AoE. If you have the Clash of Fate Mage set on Averil, it's going to do a ton of area stun, just because the targeting area is so big. It's massive. It does a bunch of freezing damage, and magic, of course, will increase how much damage is done. Gifted Mage is going to increase Averil's magic. So this is where the real magic happens. It is rapid cast. So rapid cast is going to reduce the spell cooldowns of Averil by quite a bit. And each time Averil casts an ability, her attack speed goes up. The other thing with rapid cast is it all of a sudden allows Averil to cast each of her spells twice. So even with 1 point in the skill, you get 2 ice walls, 2 novas, and 2 blizzards. Because every time you cast a spell, she gets a big increase to her attack speed permanently for the rest of the battle. It stacks up really, really, really high. So if you're hitting empty walls or if you're doing garrison sieges trying to get honor, it's really good to get her going early. The earlier that she maxes out all of those stacks, the more damage she's going to put out. So that's a basic rundown for Averil. I'll show you my stats for Averil there. She's not bad. I do like her. For artifacts, if you are doing walls or garrison sieges, putting the codex that increases magic damage on her is absolutely massive. That will help out tremendously. Next, we have the Fire Mage. This one I struggle to pronounce the name. So we're going with Fire Mage. For the Fire Mage, just like Averil, she has a staff that offers 20% more damage to fire abilities. So again, don't worry about crafting this. You will get one for free in the Void. When it comes to the equipment sets, really there's 2 main options that you have. You have the Dragon set. Just like Averil, it will make it so that once her health gets really low, all of a sudden she won't die for a little bit. And the second is the set that you can craft from the Void. What this will do is it just gives her sass. For right now, I'm running with it because it's all flawless, so why not? As far as accessories, the crit earrings again are absolutely massive on her. Is pretty big if you use her for PvP, just because all of her little fire things can do crits. I don't know if I have one set up just for wall damage. I don't. There's also a fan. I don't know if I have one in here. But she does have a fan that offers +1 to, I think it's Crackle or the Flames, one of her skills. So that's also good to have, especially if you're doing garrisons. When it comes to the details, pretty decent stats. This one's a little bit stronger than my Averil because it's higher level. And when it comes to skills, so for these skills, the first one is Flame Strike. Flame Strike, you cast it, costs one mana. It does like a little circle explosion. It reminds me of like Frost Nova, but instead of being ice, it's just fire. I really haven't played around with this too much. I don't think it's anything special. Let me know if I'm wrong and this is like the most important skill in the game, but I don't think this one's super huge. The Fire Mage is very much like an auto attack beast. You want her to auto attack, get all those little flames and flares out there to do the damage. That's where the heart of her damage comes from. Next, we have Lotus Fire. So Lotus Fire is when there's basic attacks, there's a 25% chance of releasing explosive fire or stealing a bunch of damage. Units that die from it will explode. So these are the things that she shoots out. This is that percent chance. So we want to get that up. We also have Crackling Flames through countless hours of research. She has a 25% chance of being split and putting out more flares. So, sorry, I just saw a carnivore saying Flame Strike is not good. It's hot garbage, to quote him. Crackling Flames, this is everything. So when it comes down to it, do Lotus Fire last? Of course, have 1 point into it, but don't worry about maxing out Lotus Fire. Crackling Flames is the one that you're going to want to max out right away. The reason for that is the higher level this is, the more little flares that it will shoot out. The flares are huge. That's all those separating things that kind of go out and do all of her damage. So that's kind of a fundamental skill. The next one is Rain of Fire. She summons 30 fireballs, strike an area. Each one does 5 damage. Again, I think this falls into the same issue that she had with her Flame Strike, where I don't think this is super powerful. To be fair, I have not played around with it very much. So let me know in the comments if, again, this is like sleeper OP and I'm just missing it. Because if it's good, let me know. I'll try it out. Then we have Burning. So Burning just extends the burning damage a little bit and increases it. It's pretty standard. It's a good thing to dump your extra points in since the 2 active abilities are kind of not very good. Finally, the last one. This is the active ability that I think we'll all use, is her Fire Dance. When it's active, it increases her movement and attack speed by 300% for 20 seconds. That's absolutely massive. This is huge, guys. So she has. Ooh, I wonder if I change colors with that. Okay, a little bit. When you do this, all of a sudden your fire mage is going to be zipping around as if she just had a nice espresso drink, and she's going to be shooting off flares everywhere. This is when she goes into like Super Saiyan mode. I think that this one is absolutely worth getting maxed out. There's also a new trinket. I believe it's a trinket in the void. I could be wrong. That offers +1 to this skill. So this is huge. If you have like the sage set in, or I'm sorry, the mage set on your fire mage at the beginning of a PvP, if your research is high enough, you can actually insta cast her into the fire dance right away. I don't know how many situations you would do that. Maybe if you're fighting against Sylph. But anyways, just a little cool thing. Also for garrisons, it works. Now we have Avalon. So far with Averil, the Fire Mage, and Rufio, those are universal heroes. Every race can use them, and every race probably should use them at some point. They all have a unique function. Averil for taking out backline with Blizzard, or for garrisons to do a bunch of wall damage. The Fire Mage, just to do a bunch of damage, and is anti-tree. And Rufio to kill dragons. Every single race can benefit from it. So now we're getting into our first race-specific hero. So this one is Avalon. However, that being said, Avalon is also going to be used by every single race out there. I'll get to that once we get into his skills. So just want to say hi to Lord Marithu. He nearly has his rogue research max. What hero research would you say I should go for next? I'm rocking if it helps. Do tier 13 Sage in general research. So Sage in general, tier 13, get that maxed out. You'll be in good shape, man. All right, so for Avalon, I'm going to show you a build for humans. So this is purely for humans. If you're any other race, don't worry about this build. So having the Heaven's Edge. This is huge. It will offer one of your units to get a big boost right at the beginning. Having the Imperial Banner offers +1 to Archer Mastery. Anytime you can increase your masteries, go for it, especially on huge fundamental heroes like Avalon. As far as a headgear, get something with really high command. Command will benefit both his aura and all masteries. Those are huge things that you cannot overlook. Same thing with armor. You just want a bunch of command on it. And it looks like this one's the highest one for command for me. When it comes to the trinkets, getting the Golden Goblet for the +1 to his aura helps out a ton because it's +1 to his aura. Again, anytime you can get those masteries or auras up. And then the Badge of Gallantry for the +1 to Warhorn. So this right here, it has 3 items that offer +1 to skills. It also has the Heaven's Edge, which starts off with the moral boost. That's huge. For humans, and I will do other races, don't worry. But for humans, you have a few different options for artifacts. You can go for a high command artifact. With a high command artifact, you'll be able to slightly give your troops more health. Your archers will do slightly more damage. The other thing you could do is you could do a 2-star Cilantris. This will allow your Avalon to be placed more forwards because Avalon, depending where you place him in the battlefield, will either hang back or charge forwards. Same thing with Elena. We'll cover that once we get to Elena. So depending on where you place him, if you place him forwards, you can give your frontline troops Warhorn. The problem is your Avalon dies. If a hero that offers masteries dies, all of those benefits, like all the plus health that Avalon offers and the plus archer damage, all that is instantly gone the second the hero dies. So a 2-star Cilantris can help keep your Avalon alive for as long as possible. It will give him an extra 10 seconds at a minimum. The third option for artifacts is you can also do the mirror that clones the heroes. That way you can basically get your whole army Warhorn. So you have options when it comes to artifacts for Avalon. He is not just a one hit wonder as far as artifacts. If you are not human and you are playing any other race, you can change. You can put on a better banner. If you are rocking or anything else that has humanoids, so say you're using blasters or engineers as dwarf, if you're rocking, or say that you're sylph and you're using their archers, I would still probably put the +1 to the humanoid aura on him, and always do the warhorn on him as well. If you're lich, then you don't need to worry about anything other than specifically the warhorn trinket. Hey Jerry, nice to see you. Hopefully this is what you're looking for, Jerry. As long as Jerry's happy, I'm happy. So yeah, and then focus on command if you are getting benefits from the masteries. Even if you're not human and you're running with humanoids, it helps. So when we look at the skills, first we have arrow volley. Honestly, I would just forget about this. There's probably that one guy out there. There's probably that one guy that maxed out Might on Avalon, plays as Lich, and has this fully maxed out and like shreds backline people. So there's probably that one guy, but for the vast majority of people, don't worry about this skill. Just skip it. Summon archers. If you are not human, this could be a good backup skill for you. If you do go with summon archers, even say for the Dragon Abyss, make sure you get a balance of Archer Mastery and the Audit Aura for more health. All of those things stack up. And Whoop is here. Hello, Whoop. It's nice to see you. And Drake said, is not necessarily necessary to have more than one sort of edge in your heroes for the moral boost. That's correct. They don't stack, so you're good with one. If you like the stats on them, feel free to go with more. So Summon Archers is actually probably super useful in the Dragon's Abyss. As far as your main stuff, if you are human, you're not really going to focus on this. But if you are Lich or something else, you could benefit from summoning the Archers. For most races, or for humans, you will want to max out Warhorn, Archer Mastery, and Aura. The reason for Warhorn, and Warhorn, this is universal for any race. Every single race will use Avalon because of this one skill. Warhorn puts the surrounding units and heroes around Avalon to get a 140% boost for attack speed, which is absolutely massive, and a movement speed boost for the first 8 seconds of battle. When we do the interviews with Mr. Toby, and Toby stresses how important those first 10 seconds of the battle are, think about this. In the first 8 seconds, you can have a 140% increase to your attack speed. I don't care what race you play, this is insanely important to have. So no matter what, you want the 10 out of 9 Warhorn. If you are humans, or if you are using summoned archers, then Archer Mastery, for obvious reasons, is a mastery skill, so you're going to want to have it. It increases the health and damage, and more importantly, it increases the duration of moral boost for the archers by 2 seconds. And Rayjukes also said that Arrow Volley is a great skill if you create a new character. So early game, Arrow Volley can be very good. It drops off pretty fast though. Next, we have the Audrin Aura. So if you play any race that has humanoids in it, that includes Rockin, that includes Sylph if you're running with the archers in the backline, that includes Dwarf if you're using any type of engineers, blasters, etc. Make sure that you have this maxed out. This will affect your humanoid troops. This is also why we want to protect our Avalon. And very rarely put your Avalon in the front line. If you do, use the 2-star Cilantris, or not front line, but to benefit your frontline troops. This is why we want to keep Avalon protected as much as we can, because he gives a massive boost to the health of all humanoids. If he dies, this boost is instantly gone. So put it this way, your Avalon dies, every one of your troops that's humanoid suddenly lost 45% of their bonus HP. It's pretty huge. So make sure you have that maxed out. And Natural Leader, here's the deal with Natural Leader. If you're doing the Void, I do recommend making sure to have one point in this, just because there are a lot of stages where you can do it with like 2 or 3 heroes relatively easily. This will make doing the Void easier at those lower levels. But when it comes to sets, we have a bunch of different sets for skills that we can use. Make sure you have one skill set where natural leader is maxed out to 5. That way, when you queue up troops, you can get a bigger gold cap. This offers a bunch for your gold cap when it is at 5, so keep that in mind when you do Avalon. So before we move on, I just want to double check the comments, make sure I don't miss any questions for Avalon. So Whoop said it is important. I think that was in reference to Warhorn. And Carnivore said Aura symbol looks like a little Raiden of Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I agree. So and everything in this game is taken from other games. Um, where is it? This right here. This is Warhorn armor from League of Legends. Like it's crazy, especially the League of Legends references in this game. But anyways, next we have Elena. So Elena is another one that will benefit from command. So getting relatively high command on Elena can be beneficial. So if we look at the different items on her, as far as the weapon, I really think that whatever you want to boost for the specific stats you're going for, or command for better magic resist, go for as far as a weapon. She's not going to be in combat, at least I hope she's not in combat. And when it comes to the sets, you do have a few different options. One option is you can go with the craftable set. Craftable set will offer you a bunch of stats if you cannot recast or get lucky getting good stats on other sets. Two pieces come from the Void and one comes from the Royal Archive. The other set options that you have is you have the Dragon set. So the Dragon set actually gives a bunch of decent stats, and it's passive for having the whole set helps out a ton. What it does is the morale of nearby units won't collapse for the first 20 seconds of battle. So what that looks like, and I'll just use humans as an example because they seem like they're popular and it's cool, and I'm human, go humans. What that means is if you have that set on the hero and you place it near your archers for the first 20 seconds of the battle, your archers are not going to have a moral collapse and just instantly flee. That's huge, especially at earlier servers. So if everyone on your server is castle level 30, not everyone has all gold troops out. This can help keep your silvers alive if you're new and upcoming. So I think this is a very good set. Anyways, I'm getting really stuck on this set. Maybe I should actually put it on my Elena. The third set is the general set from the Clash of Fate. I have not tried it out. I haven't heard a bunch of good things about the Clash of Fate general set. I was hoping it would be pretty awesome, but it doesn't seem like it's super great. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. I could have missed something. I could have missed something really, really good. As far as artifacts go, with whatever you want for stats, there are a couple big ones if you like to play with horses and or the summoning. One of them looks like the standard gives +1 to call to the cavalry. There's another one that offers, that offers stuff for the archers. There's another one. I don't know if I have one here. I do. +1 to the Templar Mastery. So that's huge if you are going for Templars. As far as artifacts, whatever you want to put on it, if you want to increase your magic resistance, then go with a high command one for Elena. Otherwise, really the leftover things. I put the Mirror of Truth on Elena because I do enjoy the Mirror of Truth. I think this is a great artifact to summon troops, and you want this on a hero that's going to live. And I think Elena, because she can hang back, is a good hero to actually live through a battle. And if your Elena dies, then you're probably going to lose the battle anyways. Let's check out the details. Oh, my Elena is great. So in case people don't know, Elena is my favorite hero. She's in the thumbnail. She's pretty cool. Who pointed that out with the thumbnail? Was that... Oh, it was Ray Juke. So Ray Juke said she was in the thumbnail. She was my first skin. I don't know. She's just an awesome hero. I think this is the hero I bought for $10, and then I instantly regretted it when I realized you can only get Jax that way. So then I shelled out $99 for Jax. Very disappointing. I also didn't know that heroes can come out between $50 and $100. So I should have waited for Jax to be on sale for $50. You live and you learn, and it's a wonderful learning experiment. Whoop also said, when are they going to free up the locked spot on heroes? They keep telling me soon. No, no idea. But I can assure you, it will be soon. So the first skill for Elena is Strategic Retreat. This is huge. If you borrow your friend's turtle, make sure you have this skill so that you don't kill off your friend's turtle. It's also really good if you're in a PvP in the real world and you don't want your dragon to die right before your dragon dies. Retreat it. Also, this is good in anywhere because if you have like your dragon, even in dual towers, where if it dies, it's not a big deal. Is you don't have to shell out the Lunella to revive it. Um, Using this can help prevent moral boosts for the enemy. So if your dragon starts getting low, retreat it before you give up that moral boost. Strategic retreat is on its own separate cooldown, which does not affect other skills, so don't worry about using it. The cooldown timer for it is the same speed of other skills, but it's on its own unique. Try it out sometime. It's hard to explain it. Hopefully that does it justice. Next, we have Call the Cavalry. So, I don't know why mine is so high. Well, I guess I had a bunch of extra skill points. So, Call the Cavalry will allow you to summon a pack of Templars. Depending on the level, it can either be bronze, silver, or gold. It all comes up. They cannot be summoned with awakenings. So even if you have awakened Templars, they are just going to come summoned as normal Templars. Saving lives. So in the real world, if you are doing PvP for anything, or you're doing garrisons for anything, and you're using troops other than skeletons or mechanics, have saving lives maxed out. It will increase your injury rate by 7%. So instead of having those troops die, they will go to the hospital. But again, if you're using skeletons and mechs only, then it really doesn't matter. But you have enough skill points on Elena that just max it out. Just trust me on that one, max it out. Because it's easy to forget about. Then we have Cavalry Specialist. So if you use Templars for PvP, make sure you have this maxed out. Anytime that you place a unit, you should have the Masters maxed out, in my humble opinion. Since I do not use Templars right now, mine is not maxed out, but I do have some points in it just because we do have the summoned ones. I would consider bringing this up in a separate skill tab if you're struggling in the Dragon Abyss and you are using the Templars to tank there. Now, this is huge. This is why Elena is the easiest hero to level in the game. Have a separate skill tab where you just have ready and willing completely maxed out, and every time you level her up, increase its level. She will get so easy to level up. There's no reason that as soon as you're castle level 35, she should be level 45 when your castle is at 35. That way you can get the maxed out magic resist. And the reason why is ready and willing. Super easy to level up. If every hero had this, I would be so happy. But anyways, we'll move on to magic resist. And I did forget to mention there is a +1 to magic resist trinket out there. Feel free to use it for +1 to magic resist. I need to actually use that. So after this, I'm going to go craft a flawless one because I totally forgot about that. Magic resist is absolutely huge if you're at the beginning stages of the game. Say you're castle level 20 or something, you're struggling to clear out the ruby dragon with your dragon horns. Magic resist will then let you kill off the ruby dragon without any worries in the world. When it comes to PvP, this is just absolutely massive. You need Elena for PvP. There's no way around it. There's so much magic damage, and magic resist is so important. If you are using a magic heavy formation, then trying to kill off the enemy's Elena will significantly increase your magic damage. So that's everything for my favorite hero, Elena. Now let's jump over to Vega. So Vega does have an awesome staff. This staff offers plus 20% healing efficiency, meaning that she's going to heal for 20% more. She has a few different sets that she can use. So she can use the craftable set. It can be flawless. There is a Clash of Fate set for her that gives active ability levels +1, which I should actually try out. And then she also has a dragon set. The dragon set offers, I don't know if I have it. Whoops, that's the wrong one. I do. So for the dragon set, all ability cooldowns are reduced by 2 seconds. This set is absolutely massive. Um, you gotta have one of the blood flame sets on one of your heroes deployed. That's the first one I would focus on out of all the sets if PvP is your thing. Even if PvP isn't your thing, I think just getting that really fast cast is huge. When it comes to trinkets, go with the magic increasing ones. I think there's priest mastery one out there, but there's also a necklace that offers +1 to favor of the dark star. Oh, I get it because it's the skin. So it's a +1 to the favor of the sun gods. As far as trinkets, or artifacts, I'm sorry, guys. When it comes to artifacts, you can put on whatever you want. I don't really go with anything on it. I guess if your Cilantris is at 1 star, maybe it would work well on her. If we look at her abilities, so first we have heal. Heal and boosted healing go hand in hand. If you're really struggling keeping a pack of archers alive, feel free to level up heal, and then you can drop that on the archers, give them a shield and reduce damage. But heal is exactly what it sounds like. It's a little circle, kind of like Frost Nova, and it will heal up a unit. Mana barrier, pretty much it's a useless skill. I hate to say it, but it will summon a barrier that negates rain damage up until a certain point is hit. And Carnival asked about the new artifact. I have lots of opinions with it. I'm going to save that for a different video. I do like it though. It's super strong. Next we have Saving Lives. So Saving Lives is just like Elena's. The two of these will stack with each other. So if you are using troops that can be injured and not just instantly destroyed, feel free to max out Saving Life. Then we have Priest Mastery. If you use Priest, make sure that you have Priest Mastery maxed out. Pretty standard all around, just like in any mastery. However, this one does not extend their moral boost duration. Interesting. Then we have boosted healing. So if you use heal, and for the boosted healing, this only works on the skill heal, not on favor of the sun god. It only works on the heal skill. But it pretty much makes it so that they negate more damage for a period of time, and they get a shield. The real takeaway with Vega is the favor of the Dark Star, or if you have the regular Vega, is favor of the Sun God. This skill will heal everything on the battlefield on your side pretty consistently. So this is the bread and butter of Vega. If you have Vega, she needs to be level 45 to have this skill maxed out. If you do use the favor of the Dark Star or favor of the Sun God, make sure you have the trinket on for that additional +1. Next, we'll move to Lunella. So Lunella is actually pretty interesting because I haven't even done a hero spotlight on Lunella yet. So Lunella does have a weapon. It's a craftable one. Is probably preferred more than anything else, but it is the Lunar Wrath +1. I would go with that for the weapon. As far as the shield, go with whatever gives you the best stats, or you can go with the Paladin set if you got that from Clash of Fate, like the Clash of Fate Paladin set. As far as trinkets, there are a bunch of different options. If you use the phase shift a bunch, then maybe you can go with Mantra Beads. I am trying out the Dragon Skull on her. So mine has 1.2 million HP, so it will do 120,000 damage. I just want to try it out, see how it worked. Everyone was saying that they're bad, so don't mind me. All my gears is still set up for my testing in dual towers. So the stats on mine, pretty decent. And under abilities, the first one we have is the Moonchild, which is her 2 different phases. So one, she's in melee, the other, she's in range. It's different types of fighting styles, so depending on where she's at with her health. So she goes between a spear and a glaive. Next we have phase shift, so you can hit phase shift and she will switch if she's in melee or range. You can kind of control that back and forth. However, I think, is this the one? Okay, so if you are playing Sylph and you're using the Huntresses, then you definitely want to have this max because it will increase the evade of the Huntresses for an extended period of time. That helps out a lot. Then we have Lunella's Blessing. So while she has her spear, she has a chance to summon the Huntress. And when she has the glaive, when she's in her range, she will regain health every second. Crescent Moon, I think, is probably the biggest one. She'll release a Crescent Burst that deals a bunch of damage, reducing the enemy's damage and attack speed by a bunch. So it's a really good way to debuff the enemies. I think Crescent Moon is huge. Definitely 1 point into Starfall because it can deal damage to the enemies or heal up your allies depending on if she's in melee or range. And then we have Lunar Wrath. So when she is in her melee stance, she'll actually stun enemies for 2.5 seconds, deal a little bit of damage. And when she's in range, she'll actually throw out something and it will deal damage to the enemies. It's pretty cool. I do like Lunar Wrath. That's huge. And the Crescent Moon for reducing the enemy damage. Both are massive. Finally, you have her last skill, which is Moon Dance. I think this is needed in order to keep her alive, regardless of what you're doing with her. Just because you need the bonus magic damage and attack speed. When she's in melee, you want the magic resist and you want the extra evade. That way she doesn't instantly just die. She needs to live long enough to get back into her range stance. So that is Lunella in a nutshell. Next we have Vireian. So what I'll do for Vireian is I'm just going to go through the human version of Vireian. If you are playing with Vireian as any other type, then just focus on making him a tank. And if you are playing with anything with humanoids in it, then focus Crusader Shield. Crusader Shield will offer the damage mitigation for anything with a moral boost. So if you have a race that has moral boosts in it, make sure you use it. So pretty standard, any weapon that you want. However, the other one I really like is actually the Claymore because he'll get off more auto attacks. He's always going to be receiving damage, so it's going to proc pretty often. And what will happen is he'll attack faster, and when he attacks faster, he has a chance of healing himself more frequently. Because of that, I really like the 2-star Cilantris on him because it increases the healing efficiency of his self-heal, and also he has that 10 seconds of invincibility. If you have the hero duplicating artifact, like maxed out, and you play humans, you can roll with 2 Vireians with that. As far as his helmet, shield, and armor, you can go with the Clash of Fate set. The Clash of Fate set will offer a hammer to come down and smite enemies. I think it's pretty underwhelming, but that's just my opinion on it. And for his regular, the craftable version from the Void and that one piece from the Royal Archive, it gives him the ability called Rally. I really like Rally. You pretty much use it and you can give a moral boost to one of your troops, probably your archers. So I think that's absolutely huge. The dragon set that you get from killing dragons will offer like a little consistent heal around him. For humans, I highly recommend getting the +1 to Sword Mastery just because anything with masteries is important, and also getting +1 to the Crusader Resurrection if you're using Swordsman because you can res up more Swordsmen. If you're not using Swordsman, don't worry about those artifacts, or don't worry about those trinkets. So that's the Assassin Minus. Not bad, not bad. I will take it. And under abilities, we have Late Safeguard. So Late Safeguard, once his health drops below 50%, he'll pop up a little bubble. The bubble will reduce a bunch of damage for a period of time. Great skill to have. It's needed to keep him alive. You also have Summon Swordsman. So humans won't use this. Any other race may consider using it, although it's probably still just going to be underwhelming. And the summon troops are just going to get destroyed super fast. If you are doing Dragon Abyss, having the Summon Swordsman could be beneficial to you. Make sure it's maxed out if you do it and you use the appropriate trinkets for the +1 mastery to Summon Swordsman. Then we have Lion Heartblade. This is his self-heal, so every time he attacks, he has a % chance of healing himself for a certain amount. I think it does actually a little bit of damage to the enemy as well. The extra damage really doesn't matter that much. You just want that self-heal onto Vireian. Then we have Swordsman Mastery. So again, guys, anytime you can get a mastery bonus for a troop that you're placing, make sure you get that mastery maxed out. If you have an item that offers +1 to that mastery, make sure you max that out as well. With this with this mastery. If it's maxed out, you also get extra 2 seconds when the moral boost is triggered for that moral boost to be in effect, and its duration is just extended. Anytime you can get moral boost on any type of troop that can get a moral boost, super beneficial. So swordsman mastery, make sure it's maxed out if you're using swords. Any race that it has any type of troop that can get moral boosts. Dwarf, Rockin, Sylph, humans, or if you're borrowing troops that can get moral boosts, make sure you have Crusader Shield maxed out. It will reduce damage by 45% when it's fully maxed out for any of your troops that are currently in a moral boost. Rockin, that's huge. That's everything. Then finally, we have Crusader Resurrection. So Vireian can resurrect swordsmen when they're dead. This is also true for summoned swordsmen. So say you're in Dragon's Abyss, you summon swordsmen, those summoned swordsmen die. As long as that duration bar isn't fully gone, you can use this and actually resurrect the summoned swordsman. So if you're not human and you are using summoned swordsman for whatever crazy reason, say you're having a wild Saturday night, feel free to use the Crusader Resurrection. You can get them back. In those ones that get res back, the duration's gone, so you'll have them for the rest of the battle. It's pretty cool. One of those little hidden Easter eggs. Don't tell anybody. Next we have Gan. So if you play Sylph, if you play Lich, Gan is going to be your man. He is huge for all of those magical creatures. He is also huge for every race when it comes to your dragon. As far as items and skills, as far as his weapons, if you are using him for his Nature's Blessing, make sure you go focusing on Command. Command will be huge. He has 3 different sets that he can use. You have the crossbow set, which it will offer you the most stats unless you use Renown on the other sets. So it's actually not a bad set. It increases his evade chance. You also have the Clash Fate set for Sages that offers +1 to all active abilities. And then you also have the Dragon set, which offers, I think I have one. There we go. All hero ability cooldowns reduced by 2 seconds at the start. So kind of tailor him to what you need. I don't mind having him with the 20% extra evade, but that's just me. For artifacts, if you are Lich and you're running with a bunch of Scorpions, or you're Sylph, like just Sylph, if you are a Sylph, I would consider putting the 2-star Solanges on him just to keep him alive as long as possible. First thing that we have is Twisting Thorns. Twisting Thorns is absolutely massive. You can place it, drag your finger across the battlefield, create a bunch of prickly things, which archers will have decreased accuracy. They'll take damage every second, and if any other type of troops try to make it through that area, all of a sudden they'll get stuck for a few seconds. And it also synchronizes very well with Sylph archers, dealing 100% bonus magic damage to anything that's rooted. So that's a bunch of information about this skill. It's a pretty good skill. I do like it. We have Summon Treant. I haven't used this ever. I don't think. Let me know in the comments, guys, if this is any good. It doesn't look good. None of it sounds good. I've never used it. So maybe it is good, but I think just skip this one. We have tree mastery, basically. So if you are playing Sylph and you are using trees, max this out. Again, anytime you can max out masteries for troops that you are using, please do so. Now we have Earthquake. So Earthquake's actually a pretty huge skill. It's a circle. It goes on the ground. It shakes up the ground. It does damage, but it also slows the movement speed and attack speed of everything in it. That also includes heroes. So it's massive. It's really, really useful, guys. So Carnivore told us that the Summon Treant is absolutely terrible and useless. Okay, cool. So I'm not the only crazy one out here. Thank you, Carnivore, for letting us know. Life Force. If you are doing Dragon Abyss and you're doing any of those summons, or say you're playing Lich and you have Avalon with summon archers or whatever it looks like, anytime you're doing stuff with summon stuff, put points into Life Force. It will help keep them alive, or keep them from expiring and disappearing longer. Next, we have Nature's Blessing. So this is the mastery for health for all magical creatures. This includes turtles, dragons, any of Sylph's frontline, some of their backline with their shrooms. And if you are doing anything as Lich where it is not skeleton, this is your skill. There's also a book in here. It's called the Manuscript. It offers +1 to Nature's Blessing. Make sure you equip that as well if you're going for the HP Mastery on Can. Next, we have Tieran. So Tieran actually got a little bit of a buff recently. So for Tieran, she has a bunch of different options for weapons. Let me see if I can find one of them. So she has the Holy Goblet that she can use. So if you're fighting a bunch of Lich and they're using skeletons, offering 30% more damage to undead is a huge skill or huge weapon. It stacks with her skills. When it comes to the sets, it's very, very similar to Avalon, to Vireian. You have the 3 sets. You have the Clash of Fate set, which will summon down the Smiting Hammer. It's kind of meh. Then you have the other set from the craftable version from the Void, one piece from the Royal Archive. That will offer the Rally ability. And then she also has the Dragon set, which will do like a little heal around her. Tieran also has, and I don't think most people know about this, Tieran also has another viable set where I think let me see if it's here. I think it's in here. Here we go. So if you use the legendary crafting set on Tieran, she can actually get the damage increase to undead by 30% from that. So then all of a sudden you don't need to use the Holy Goblet item, if that makes sense. So if you put the legendary set on her, you no longer need to worry about using the Holy Goblet. Instead, you can use the Hammer of Zeal, which I don't know if I have one made, but the Hammer of Zeal will increase damage to summon units, which include the little spiderlings from the spiders. So ideally, if you're fighting Lich, you would want the legendary craftable set on her, and then the Hammer of Zeal for the weapons. As far as the trinkets, she does have a couple skill ones, one for the Holy Light or the healing the ally, and also one for her aura, which we'll jump into and check out. So first one is Judgment Seal. Judgment Seal, I still haven't really played around with this. I know I said I would, but I still think it's just way too underwhelming. So Judgment Seal is she can put out 3 seals on the battlefield. It does a bunch of damage per second. Seems like it could be cool. Haven't really tested it out yet. Next, we have Sacred Shield. So Sacred Shield is she enters the battlefield protected by a shield. When she falls, she passes the shield off onto other heroes. This one is pretty cool. I do have it maxed out because I find it useful. Purge the Lands. Don't bother getting this unless you have just extra points. What you can do is under another skill tab, just switch over to that and have it fully maxed out, and just use it and switch it every time you do need to use it. Then we have Divine Light. So Tieran automatically casts Divine Light. This is the heal for the heroes. This is really useful. I do like the Divine Light. And the main reason why we would use Tieran at all is for the aura. So this aura is anti-lich, it's anti-skeletons. It does a decent amount of damage, and every 10 seconds that damage goes up. But the more useful part of this, and the part that people get, we all do, and I do as well, we get hung up with big numbers. We want to see that big damage. I don't know, we just like big things. This skill also reduces the accuracy of skeletons. If you reduce their accuracy, you're going to all of a sudden increase your survivability for your side. So this skill isn't just about dealing damage, it's also about survival for your side. Sacrifice. I'm sorry, I've never used this skill. I know I said I would, but she sacrifices a big portion of her health, deals a bunch of damage and weakening armor. It looks like it's huge versus undead. We need to try this out, guys. Has anyone tried out Sacrifice? Please let me know, because it looks cool, it sounds cool. I just haven't done it. I know it's horrible. Now we can move on to Gazul. So Gazul has a bunch of interesting stuff. Oh, so Carnivore asks, Tieran and Lunella level 60 worth it? For me, yes. But I have a lot of level 60 heroes, so I like Tieran to live as long as possible, so having extra HP, I'll take that. So for Gazul, as far as equipments, go with whatever gives you the stats that you like. If there's a certain set that you want, feel free to go with it. The craftable set for the Necromancers will offer 20% bonus to their damage dealt. The Dragon set offers 40%. So obviously, if you're going for damage on any Necromancer, go for the Dragon set. The other option, and I think is probably best for Gazul if you play Lich, is the Clash of Fate set where it will summon a little Lich King. I haven't really played with it too much, but it looks like it can be pretty good. And as far as the items, he has a tome slot or a tomb slot. So the curse, the one that's up on the screen, I can't pronounce the name. This is the best one for that slot if you play Lich. If you don't play Lich, then like just use him for stats. Just gear him up for whatever stats you want. There's a couple exceptions, and I'll go over them once we get to the skills. And we'll jump into the skills. So you have Resurrect. Resurrect will kind of just pick an area, have a percent chance to bring up some stuff. I think this is mostly useful if you're fighting against humanoids or humans specifically, because swordsmen can only be resurrected once, whether from his Vireian, whether it's from the mummies or Gazul, they can only be resurrected once. So if you resurrect the enemy human swordsman before their Vireian, all of a sudden their Vireian's resurrection is useless. Resurrect's also pretty useful if you're trying to farm for level 16 skeletons, because you're a Lich player. Fear Samara. So here's the deal with Fear Samara, guys. If you are playing a race and you have troops on your side, or you're borrowing troops from a friend that can have moral collapse, like human archers, rockin' monks, anything like that, do not use Fear Samara, because it will affect your troops as well. However, if you're playing anything that does not have moral collapse, such as mech tanks, or you're in the Colosseum, not Colosseum, or you're in the dual towers as a dwarf player, and all you're putting out there is like 8 packs of mechs because you're a jerk and you want to make everyone waste 40 seconds of their life just trying to kill 1 pack of mechs, thank you. Then go with Max Ho Fierce Mara. So if you have troops that can have moral collapses, don't use it at all. If you have troops, I think I'm saying that backwards. Yeah, Fierce Mara. This is a scary one. Pretty much, if you don't have any troops that will run away, use it. If you have troops that will run away, don't use it. Skeleton Sacrifice, absolutely useless skill. I don't think this one is worth it at all. Just skip this one entirely. Now, if you are playing as Lich, then Skeleton Mastery, again, with the Masteries, you gotta max out the Masteries if you're using those types of troops. This will help out the Skeletons for Lich. Also, Immortal Strength. Immortal Strength is like the double whammy of Masteries, and they're both on Gazul. So if you're a Lich player using Skeletons, your Gazul is as important as an Avalon for a human player. He is everything. He is all of your Masteries. Immortal Strength, you want that +1 from that tomb that I showed you guys in the equipment, because every time a skeleton dies in the battle, there's a chance for them to instantly be resurrected. If a dire skeleton dies and then has those 3 seconds or 2.5 seconds where it's still out in the battlefield, then it gets resurrected again. All of a sudden, that one skeleton just bought you like 5 seconds of immortality. It's so ridiculous. Command also increases that. And finally, we have Soulless Scourge. This will create like a wall of dark souls charging at the enemy. It looks terrifying. I guess it can do a little bit of damage and it reduces the healing efficiency of the enemies. I really don't see that as a big skill or used too often, but who knows? Somebody out there might have a strategy for it. So Ian asks, is it possible uh, to beat people without spending any money, or to be one of the best without spending any money? Um, yeah, I do think so. I think you can do really well in the game without spending any money. Shadow comes to mind when it comes to that, and he was playing on the Clash of Fate championship team with us, and I've spent a lot more money than zero, and he was doing fantastic. So, like best being number one in the world, no, absolutely not. But can you do very well within your own group of friends? Yes, you can. It takes a lot more time. You have to be really committed with time, and you have to invest the time and get the honor and get those small advantages because you're investing the time. Probably the best blend is some money, some time. Uh, Next is Cleo. So Cleo, there's two main types. You have the Lich version of Cleo, and then you have everyone else's. And Cleo's kind of a one-hit wonder for everyone else. She's just there for a black hole. Um, so that's one of the reasons why I do like the Heretic Mace, just because it reduces the initial cooldown. As far as the items, she has three different options. She has the craftable version, which you can easily make flawless, which will give you really good stats until you can recast the other ones. She also has the dark skill or the dragon one, which is once her health drops below a certain amount, she'll pretty much become invincible for a few seconds. That will help keep her alive. She can actually absorb a lot of damage. A friend of mine sent me a replay today. Cleo tanked 67 million damage, and that's because of this set right here. So it's pretty huge. As far as trinkets, feel free to put on whatever gives you the best stats. There are a couple specific ones, and I think there's some new ones coming out when it comes to the thing that makes the whole battlefield dark. When we look at the abilities, so the first one that we have is the Arcane Codex. This is the standard one that with auto attacks it will cast out something that does a little bit more damage. For Cleo, hers is actually a 35% chance, and the Dark Orb will deal a little bit of damage. This I would not worry about until you take care of all the other skills and put extra points in this one at the end. We have Book of Eclipse. So if you max this out, guys, it will affect your own troops. So if you're using humanoids, don't bother with this. If you're using troops that are not humanoids, such as any Lich or mech tanks for dwarfs, things like that, feel free to max this out because it won't affect your own troops. We have Tomb of Pain. I haven't used this one, guys. So let me know in the comments if you've used this. It doesn't look very good, so I've always skipped it. But who knows? This could be a massive one. Yeah, I don't know. So, anyways, let me know if that's a good skill. We have Tomb of Wisdom. This one is pretty cool. This is just a straight up magic stat boost for Cleo. Feel free to dump extra points into that. Tomb of Redemption. All right, so this one is pretty huge for Lich and just for Lich. So when the battlefield becomes a darkened place because of the eclipse, just like Twilight, and the skeletons die, because of this Tomb of Redemption, it offers a percent chance that you kind of get those skeletons back at the end of the battle. It is very specific to Lich and skeletons. I will say, I think if Cleo dies, then you don't get them. I forget. It's been a while since I played with that one. And finally, we have the Tomb of Creation. So with the Tomb of Creation, this is her black hole. This is the holy grail of Cleo. You want her for the black hole. So Holly says, hello, Holly. And GN or YN says, Tomb of Pain is almost as useless as Rufio to me. Well, we got to work on your Rufio, man. We'll get him up there. Next, we have Rexius. So Rexius is a huge hero. As far as a weapon, you can go with +1 for a Curse Light on him as far as the weapon. it's a pretty big weapon as far as Curse Light. Otherwise, go with whatever you want for the stats. Under artifacts, if you're going for damage, go with the codex that increases magic damage. If you are trying to take out the enemy backline, he has 3 different types of sets that he can wear. The first is the standard Mage one, which is the craftable version. He has the Dragon one, which will allow him to stay alive a little bit longer. And the third one is the Clash of Fate one. And every time he puts out a lantern, it will stun in that area for 2 seconds. It's pretty massive. If you use Rufio, you'll probably want the Clash of Fate set on him if you can get it. Mantra beads. So here's the deal with mantra beads. They are huge, 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 and Rexius is the one for it. Rexius, because he can cast his 3 abilities pretty much instantly once doing his first, then that's what makes the mantra beads most important. He does have some extra items, and it looks like the box of pestilence that offers +1 to the lanterns. I do use the 2 +1 items when it comes to doing things like siege, where it's not PvP and I'm not worried about the stats. And if we look at the abilities, the first one is the spirit energy. So it's talking about the 3 lanterns, and I'll just break it down like this. He has three different lanterns. Each one's a different color. When he does not cast the lantern, it puts out an aura around him, and troops and heroes near him will benefit from those auras. They need to be really close though. He then has the active version where he pretty much throws a lantern. If you've ever played League of Legends, imagine it like Thresh, where he throws a lantern out, and whoever's on that lantern will get a bonus, whatever that lantern's bonus is, and it's significantly higher. Just to summarize for all of this, if that lantern goes onto a Lich skeleton, it gets double the benefits. So say it increases attack speed by 50% and that lantern lands on a pack of Warlocks, all of a sudden it's going to offer 100% increased attack speed. So Rexius is very, very beneficial for every race, but he's exceptionally beneficial when it comes to Lich using skeletons. And for that, you might want to consider running 2 Rexiuses with the artifact. So the first main skill is the Stagnetti Lantern. This increases the duration of the lanterns when they go down and the efficiency of them. We have Abyssal Light. Abyssal Light on allies will heal, on enemies will deal damage if you're trying to take out the enemy backline. This is the skill. It's also the first cast of the lanterns. So they do go in order. The first one is the Abyssal Light. This is the damage/heal one. It's also one of the few ways you can actually heal up skeletons for Lich. Next we have Abyssal Light. Oh no, we just did Abyssal Light. We have Lunar Light. This increases and reduces attack speed depending on if it's on ally or enemy. It's all about the attack speed. And finally, we have Lunar Light. So Lunar Light increases... Oh, wait, no, I just did that one. I'm tripping myself up. The last one is Curse Light, which increases and decreases damage. So it's pretty huge. So Lord asks, are Rexius' lantern debuffs doubled as well? I don't think the debuffs get doubled. In fact, is it under here? Or is it here? Pardon me, just for 1 second. I want to see where it is for Lord. I thought it was under Spirit. So it only talks about these buffs being doubled for friendly skeleton units. So it only works on your side, Lord. So if you put these on an enemy pack of skeletons, it won't double. It only works on friendly ones for Rexius. Rexius also has Refract, which every time a humanoid dies, it has a chance of leaving multiple corpses. This is great if you're trying to resurrect things. Get Refract up if you are a Lich and you're trying to get more troops from a summoning event. That way you have a bunch of level 16 Warlocks for the tower. And finally, we have Metamorphosis. So Metamorphosis, once all the lanterns are out, he will turn into a giant thing and throw out a bunch of auto attacks. I don't think it's super powerful. I think it's all about the lanterns. Depending on what you're doing in the game, you'll want to focus on different lanterns, but always, always, always have the Sagnetti lantern, the first one, maxed out. And Can's here. So how are you doing, Mr. Can? I'm glad that you are here. And next we have Rose. So whereabouts are we with everything? We're at Rose. Wow. So we've done 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All right, so we're almost at 14. And we still have... So we're about halfway through. We're starting to get close to halfway through. So I think what we're going to do is we'll go up to... let's go up to Gafgar today, and then we'll call it quits, because that would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, so we'll go up to Gafgar, and then what I'll do is tomorrow afternoon, I can do the other half. I just feel like my voice is going to be totally gone before we finish this. And Viango asks, best main hero lineup. It really depends on your race. So what I'm going to do is let's back out real quick, and all right, so we can watch this one right here. I am just going to disappear for 1 second, grab a glass of water, just so I don't sound horrible for you guys. All right, so if I can get this, I'm going to go bam, and hey guys, so I am back. So sorry about that. Just had to grab some heroes. Yeah, I had to grab some water. Anyways, this was a pretty good fight. Had a Topaz Dragon Force, so I'm pretty happy about the outcome for that. So where were we? We left off on Rose. So here we are with Rose. Rose is a huge hero when it comes to Lich, and if you are placing spiders for Lich. However, if you are not Lich, then she can be pretty good at stalling out different sides. So if we look at her sets, she has three different options for the Sage set. She has the craftable one, which will give 20% evade. That is pretty good for sets as well. She also has the Clash of Fate set, which will offer +1 to all active skills. I think for Rose, the spider web is her only real active skill, so that codex might not be the best on her. And she also has the dragon set, which will reduce all initial cooldowns for spells by 2 at the start of the battle. As far as the weapon, feel free to go with whatever suits your fancy as far as stats. If you are going with spiders, I do recommend maxing out command as much as you can. And when it comes to trinkets, I think she has some new trinkets in the Void that just came out. There is one out already that offers +1 to her spider web, which will benefit the spiders by quite a bit. For abilities, she has the Spider Queen, so she costs 3 energy to deploy, and she starts off with a bunch of little broods or mini spiderlings around her. She is the mother of spiders, so she summons more spiderlings into battle periodically. Um, so that's actually a pretty huge skill if you want more little spiderlings to come out. Spiderweb, if you are Lich and you are using spiders, this should be maxed out. And when you place this down on the battlefield, make sure, guys, that you get it underneath your own spiders because it offers a really big boost to your own spiders. When it comes to enemy troops, it will slow them down quite a bit and their attack speed, which is a pretty useful skill. Then we have Venom Explosion, which means that whenever one of the little broodlings die, they kind of explode, doing a little bit of poison damage. Spider Mastery. So if you are using spiders, make sure you have the Spider Mastery maxed out. If you aren't using spiders, then don't really worry about this skill at all. But again, anytime that you use a troop, make sure you have the corresponding mastery fully maxed out. Toxic Touch is huge. So I really do like this skill because when Rose hits something, it will slow them down both with their movement speed and attack speed. I really do like this, and it also reduces how much damage they do. And it is like a little bit of AoE splash, so it's pretty good. Finally, there is Lingering Death. So when Rose does put out her little spiderlings, and those spiderlings die, they'll kind of root the enemies down. They won't be able to attack or do anything for a few seconds. Pretty cool skill all around. Next, we have Ophidius. So, I think Ophidius will be the last one for today as far as the heroes, and then we'll pick up next week, or yeah, I think we'll do it next Saturday. Tomorrow, I forgot we have Clash of Fates, so next Saturday we'll pick up at Gafgar and we'll work our way through for the rest of the heroes. So with Ophidius, I really like the setup that I have on her. I'm not going to be that guy that says that is the best one out there. I just think it's a great setup. So for a weapon, it offers a tag ability and a bunch of magic. I think making sure that you have at least one person with the tag ability out there is important for your formation if you want to be able to attack dragons as soon as possible in the battle. As far as the stats, actually, let's look at this one because it's cool. You have three different options as far as the sets. We have the... Do we have a craftable one here? We have the craftable version. This is from the Void One Piece from the Royal Archive. This will offer damage plus 20%. It's not bad. Honestly, if you don't have the full dragon set, go with the full craftable set for the plus 20% damage. This will help out with her snake damage and most importantly, the Ring of Ragnar. However, the dragon set is the best set for Ophidius because it offers damage plus 40%. The reason why you want the damage bonuses is because of the Ring of Ragnar. It puts out a black hole, sucks everything in. It does so much damage, it's not even funny. The third set is the Clash of Fate Necromancer set. I don't think it's worth it on Ophidius, so I would skip over that unless you just have so many Clash of Fate points that you're putting it on all of your heroes. In that case, donate them to me. I'll use them. As far as the tome, use whichever one will give you the most stats in the stats that you're looking for. And I really do like the crit earrings on Ophidius. There's 2 new trinkets that came out in the Void. One is for the cold spell, and I forget what the other one's for. Those might be pretty good. The other option is you can also go with Mantra Beads. So Mantra Beads, every time she summons a snake out there, will actually affect the enemy heroes and reduce their damage by 10%. So Mantra Bead can be really good on her. However, the crit earrings are just fantastic on Ophidius overall. When it comes to skills, the first one is the Slithering Tongue, which she sacrifices a bunch of her health to summon the snake. When her health falls below 30%, her snakes are immune to damage. Pretty much she's like Jax. Whenever you place her, it costs 3 health. Her first skill is Cold Blood. This one, there's a trinket in the new Void Stages that offers +1 to this. And what it does is for every 1% health that Oidius loses, her snakes gain 3% attack speed bonus. This bonus will stop building if Oidius drops below 30% health. This is huge. If you want your little summon snakes to do more damage, level up Cold Blood because they'll attack more frequently. Bewitched is really good debuff towards the enemy. There's a percent chance that it will reduce their damage, and that the reduced damage to the enemy will actually stack. Snake Sacrifice. This pretty much gives Oidius a second health or a second life. It's a free resurrection for her as long as she has at least one snake out there to sacrifice. If she does not have a snake out there to sacrifice, then she will just die and she won't be resurrected. Next, we have Pagan Curse. So Pagan Curse, if you're doing a bunch of magic damage somehow, whether it's from your Onyx Dragon or say you're playing Lich, Pagan Curse is really good at reducing the magic resistance of the enemies. So I do recommend going higher up in it, the more magic damage you put out on your side. Otherwise, it's a really good 1-point wonder. Next, we have Scarlet Wrath. So her snakes will deal more damage, and it does the damage based on the max health of the enemies. This is a huge skill if you're going for snake damage. Definitely recommend getting that up. And finally, we have the Cobra Covenant. So max it. Just max it on Oidius no matter what. So that is the first half of all of the heroes. I think today we went through Rufio, Averil, Fire Mage, Avalon, Elena, Vega, Lunella, who I still haven't even done a hero spotlight on, Vireian, Gan, Tieran, Gazul, Cleo, Rexius, Rose, and Oidius. So that means next week we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So next week we have 13 heroes that we'll go over. Let me know in the comment section for this if you guys found this useful. I thought about going back and redoing all of the hero spotlights and everything, but it just seemed like people just wanted the information, so I thought this might be a good way of giving it to you. Let me know if it is, or if you'd prefer those specific hero spotlights. So with that, guys, tomorrow coming up, we will have Clash of Fate. I'll bring you the full uninterrupted footage of Clash of Fate. It should be a lot of fun. We're playing against a friendly group at Long-Term Allies. I can't wait. Last time we played against them, I had a recording issue and nothing got saved. It was actually really bad. My files got corrupted. I got new software since then, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. It shouldn't, and it should be a fun fight all around. So with that, please like, share, subscribe. That helps out the channel tremendously. Check out the links in the description below. We have a merch store, Patreon. We also have the OGC community Discord where you can guys can get a bunch of cool information. So feel free to go check that stuff out. And until tomorrow, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care, guys.